All right. Today, I'm going to answer the question, how long will it take for me to fix my marriage? So, if you have that question, especially if you are wondering if it's worth the time, the energy, and the space of brain to continue to fight for your marriage, work to restore your marriage, or maybe to give up and file for a divorce or accept a divorce. If that is your question, then I'm going to answer your question and also share with you what you can do while you're waiting if you choose to wait. And I want to remind you that if you have been blessed by this channel and you're not yet subscribed, please hit the subscription button there and share this with friends if you are blessed by it. So if you are wondering how long do I need to wait to know if I should continue to work on this marriage, or how long will it take for my wife to turn around or my husband to turn around and we can have a good marriage, then I can say to you, you are already asking the wrong question. You're asking the wrong question. Why? Because the first thing that you need to think about is, what is God doing with me in this marriage? I was answering a question yesterday about a man who left me a question and said, my wife is going with another person. He got wind that she was going with another person. And I want to say to you, whatever you hear that makes you lose hope, if you lose hope and you stop working on being a different person that knew you, it means that all the work you were doing in the first place had the wrong motive. Your motive was not right. It was to control your wife, to bring her back. And that means you're just beginning the process. So no matter what you hear she's doing, even if you see her doing that, you must continue to grow. You must continue to build up that your ability to trust God, to live for God, to live according to God's plan, to love like Jesus, to tap into God's love, and to be consistent and constant in love. You must continue to grow that, because if you keep growing in that, your impact level will grow. Your ability to pull people into God's kingdom will increase, and your ability to love your wife and notice her and become that man that would enable her to be the best version of her life that God has designed will show forth, and you're going to experience the victory that God wants you to experience and bring to her, right? So it is important that you notice that. If you are just doing things in order to fix your marriage, it's not the best way. You can even do well for 5 months, 6 months, and as soon as she comes back, maybe even you it takes you 1 year to get her back into the home. But once she's back, you're going to relax because you're only motivated by absence. You don't want that to be your life. You must be motivated by God, motivated by something that comes from within you, so that regardless of our behavior, you keep pressing on and you keep bringing the result. And so if you are in this process to learn how to love, you're in this process to become a better man that God made you to be, then there's no limit to how long it takes. And you're not worried about that. You just take as long as it takes. The only time you may give up is when God tells you it's time to give up, or your wife or your husband is married to another person and you figure that maybe the best thing would not be to disrupt this marriage. I would rather just move on. Yes, those are some of the reasons. And of course, regardless of what your thoughts are, you're still going to have to confirm that that's what God has designed for you. So don't worry about how long it takes. You worry about your vision for what God is doing in you. What is God doing in you? How long will it take for you to become that man? It's going to take all your life. So go at it and continue to be that man. Now, why would someone ask this question? How long will it take? It's because the more you are working, your wife seems not to be changing, or your husband seems not to be changing. They may seem to be getting worse. If they are addicted to something, they may be getting worse. If they are just disrespectful and disconnected, they may look, it may seem to be getting worse. Don't worry about it. It's like a seed. Just trust that the love that you're sowing, the seed of love that you're sowing, will bear fruit, will bear fruit. And trust God to guide you. Would you still need to be firm sometimes? Of course, you have to be firm. That's part of love. That's part of love, and that's what you got to learn. And a lot of times, people don't want to learn that because you want it to be fast. I noticed that a lot of people, they want the relationship to be restored very quickly, so they cheat when they ought to be firm and say, you know what, I'm not going to stand up and allow you to mess up your life in with this addiction. I encourage you to get some help and just say the truth, the way they will say to their best friend or to their child or to their brothers or siblings. They hold back because they are afraid of the consequences. So these are some proof that you need to learn how to love better. I'm not trying to blame you. I'm just trying to point out to you that some of these things are proof to you that you still need to grow. That's how I learn. I just turn the situation around and check it and say, okay, look at the situation. If I was the one in the other side of the coin, what would I want the one who is in my own position now to do? So I'll give you an example. Say you are a wife who has a husband who's addicted to something, and maybe alcohol or porn or whatever. They're addicted to it, and you sense in your mind, in your heart, that God wants to use you to help them, and you are fighting for your marriage. And at this point, you're going to speak to them and tell them that, look, this habit is destroying our marriage, and I'm not going to be able to stand and watch you destroy yourself and the marriage. I'm going to take a stand. Now, that a lot of people are not willing to do. You got to take a stand, and that stand can be in any form, depending on the marriage. One stand will be, I'm going to have to disconnect my finances because a lot of our finances is going towards this addiction, and I cannot do that. I would not want us both to be compromised in our finances. So I'm going to disconnect our finances, and I'm going to contribute my part, and you contribute your part. And if your part is not able, we're going to have to do something else about it. This is harder, it's tough, but it needs to be done. It needs to be done. And if the idea is porn, you can say to them, look, this is a destructive behavior. It is disrespectful to me, and I'm not going to just watch you continue in this line. So what do you think about installing some software on the computers to help the process? I know I cannot stop you on your phone or on your devices, but would you be willing to do that to help the relationship? And if they are not willing, then you got to think about, what am I going to do as a consequence of that? What am I going to do? And sometimes it may be to say, you know what, I'm going to just give you some time to figure out what place you want to go to get some help. And so in the next 6 months, 7 months, you try and think of where to get help. If you're not willing to get help, that maybe you're willing to lose the marriage. And if that is the case, then I'm going to have to take it that you don't want this marriage anymore, since you're not willing to do anything to overcome a thing that you know is destructive for our marriage. So these things are tough to do, but they are the next level. And we don't wait on those things and just say, oh, I'm going to wait, it's going to be all right. No, we're not going to wait on things because we are afraid that we're going to lose the marriage. We're going to wait on things because we know that They're working at it. There's work being done. Right. But of course, in all of this, you're saying, you know what, I'm standing with you. I'm going to stand by you. The only reason why I'm disconnecting and taking a stand is so that both of us are not compromised and wiped out by something that is negative, something that is not godly. I'm only protecting the family. And so I just wanted to use this opportunity to answer that question. How long do I need to wait? And the answer is as long as it takes, but you got to be doing the right thing. How do you know what the right thing is? Think about what you would like somebody on the other side to do. So if you were the one addicted to something that is destroying your life, what would you like your spouse to do? Give you some respect, give you some space, yes, but fight for you, stand with you, and say no to, and do whatever they can to help you wake up and be willing to receive you when you wake up. That's what you would want. And that's what you got to offer to your spouse that's going through that. So how you do it, you just think about what you would like to do. A lot of people are not able to imagine themselves in something that they find very repulsive and negative. Yes, that's why you need a coach. You can go and brainstorm with the coach and say, okay, this is what I'm going through. What are some ideas of what to do? How can I put myself in the shoe? Because I find it very difficult to be in the shoe of what my husband or my wife is doing to me right now. I find it very difficult. That you can role play with your coach or with your friend or with your pastor or with your leader. All right, so these are some of the things that I just wanted to drop out today. And if this has blessed you, of course, like. And if you have a question, do not forget, you can put your questions in the comments and I would answer your questions. Every day, 5 days a week, I come on live and spend about 30 minutes, sometimes a little bit less, to answer questions, and sometimes a little bit more to answer questions on marriage. My goal with this channel is to help you to love like Jesus and make mega impact. I want you to create an atmosphere. I want to stand with you to create an atmosphere of love in your home where your children grow up in love and become missionaries of love everywhere they go, and they manifest God's love, God's presence everywhere, and you of course as well. That's my goal. So if you need help turning your marriage around and releasing God's love into it, reach out to my calendar adesobanya.com/chat. Go ahead and book a 15-minute call with me. I'll be happy to connect with you, answer your questions, see how I can be of help to you. All right, so that is that. Well, may the Lord bless you, keep you, and make you a blessing to everyone around you. And until we connect again tomorrow, continue to love like Jesus and make mega impact. Now.